Hey there, Karen E here. Welcome to your Decode Your Life video training. Most of us don't manifest our dream lives, not because we don't have the right techniques, it's because we are not really in alignment with the rhythm of the universe. The goal of this training is to bring you back to your natural state, which is the state of perfect balance of 5 elements and perfect alignment with the universe. Once you get to the place where you are perfectly balanced, what's going to happen is that you're going to feel that life start flowing again. You're no longer stuck. Your health will improve, and you're going to notice that you're going to have better luck with everything. People around you will change. Everything around you will start to shift. So you're going to know that, your 5 elements are back in balance, back in harmony again. By now, you should have downloaded your 15-page Decode Your Life PDF report. If you haven't, make sure that you go to www.choosinggratitude.net/decode and download it again. And if you have downloaded it and you haven't opened it, you haven't read it through, that is okay. I'm going to walk you through some of the content in that report, the important parts, but I'm not going to repeat that whole report. So the goal is that between the report and this video training, you will be able to have a basic understanding of your life, your birth chart, and your core energies. You'll also be able to understand at any given time, any given month, given year, what kind of energy you are dealing with, okay? And I'm gonna try to keep this very short, within 10 to 15 minutes, so we don't waste your time. And now let's dive right in. In order to understand your Chinese astrology birth chart, you should first understand what Chinese astrology is based upon. Chinese astrology is all about the flow of 5 elements. And according to Chinese astrology, each year, each month, each day, each hour, and each minute is ruled by a combination of these 5 elements. This is a very rich and complicated system, and there is no way we can cover everything in this video, but through this video you should have a very clear understanding of these 5 elements, okay? So first of all, what are the 5 elements? According to the ancient Chinese wisdom, our entire world, all the energy patterns can be explained with these elements. They are related to certain elements in our nature, like water, like fire. However, I don't want your understanding to be limited to just these natural elements. I think these elements are helping us understand the pattern of things. That's why, these elements not only exist in the nature, they also exist in our body. They rule parts of our body. They rule our thoughts. They even rule certain divine qualities. We'll talk about that later. But now let's first talk about what are the 5 elements. Let's start with the element water. We live on a water planet. Water is abundant around us. So we're going to start with water. The element water will give life to wood. This is easy to understand because when you pour water on trees, the trees grow. So water gives life to wood, and wood gives life to fire because when you burn wood, you get fire. And fire gives life to earth because after the fire burns, guess what? You have ashes. Ashes is earth, right? It returns to the earth. And earth gives life to metal because, gold and silver, all these minerals are rich in our earth, right? So earth gives life to metal. And metal then gives life to water. This is a little hard to understand, but I see it as, you have to use water to purify the metal you get, right? So this is just a symbolic way to understand the flow of 5 elements. Now, I hope you have a basic understanding of these 5 elements. They have a generating cycle. And the 5 elements can also have a challenging cycle, meaning, one element could generate another one, but one element could also be detrimental to another element. Think about it. Water gives life to wood. So water is nurturing to wood, and wood is nurturing to fire. However, if you remove the wood, you look at the relations between water and fire, guess what you get? Water extinguishes fire. So water is detrimental, water is challenging to fire. So that is a challenging cycle. So on this picture, any two elements, when they are next to each other, they have a generating relationship. However, if they're not next to each other, they must have a challenging relationship. What's the relationship between water and earth? Because there are two elements between water and earth, right? If you look at the other side of the circle, guess what? Earth terminates water. Earth is destructive to water. So the magic is this: given any two Chinese elements, you can always come to either a generating relationship or a challenging relationship. Or if you have the exact same element, obviously that's the same relationship. Now you know the foundation of Chinese astrology. Okay, now let's come back to your life. You always have a core energy, and that core energy is what? Is one of these 5 elements, okay? And also, according to Chinese astrology, we have the yin and the yang, which means each energy could have 2 sides. So you would have yin fire and yang fire. You would have yin wood and yang wood. That way, you actually have 10 different energy categories, right? So in other words, your core energy is one of the 10 energy categories. You have to be one of the 10 energy categories. Does that make sense? So how do you know your core energy? I have a link in the Decode Your Life PDF workbook. You can just go to that workbook and go to that link. I'm not affiliated with this link. To be honest, I really don't know who created this website and what is this website all about, but I simply use this calendar, okay? So you can click that link and go to that calendar. And on that calendar, all you need to do is to enter your date of birth. You're gonna select the year, the month, and day. And when you get to that specific day, the date you're born, you're going to look at the energy category of that date, because every day is associated with a specific energy, okay? So any given day in our world is ruled by a certain type of energy. So all you need to do is to look up your birth date on that calendar. You will be able to understand which core energy category you're in. What is your core energy? Now you may be asking me, okay, I'm an yin wood, I'm a yang fire, so what? How do I understand my core energy pattern? Well, each element does have its own traits and characteristics. For example, wood people are usually very nurturing and loving, and water people are mysterious and flexible, and fire people are quick to take action. They are more passionate. Metal people are more practical and logical, and then earth people are more fixed, stubborn, but also more abundant. But just your energy alone actually doesn't tell you everything about you. In Chinese astrology, we look at the year you're born, the month you're born, the time you're born. It gets complicated. There is no way for you to understand all of that without some in-depth study, but what you can look at is what is the transiting energy in relation to your core energy. Because like we said, given any two energies, you are going to see a relationship. The relationship is either generating or challenging, or you could have the same energy, which basically means companion and enhancement, okay? So now you know your core energy, and you're going to look at the transiting time. When you compare your core energy with any transiting energy, there are only 5 possible relationships between you and what's coming, okay? The first kind is the same one, meaning, let's say you are an yin earth and you're also have an yin earth. You're an yin fire, you're also going to have an yin fire year. That's called the same. This kind of combination usually means that right now is a good time for you to develop friendship. It's going to give you stronger, support to expand your own energy. Does that make sense? And the second type is a challenging type, meaning the incoming energy is challenging your core energy. Don't be afraid of this, because you know what? The challenging energy is usually the energy that forces you to grow. So when you are living through a challenging energy cycle, usually it means that that this is a time for you to have more stress, take on more responsibilities. Often it is auspicious for expansion of your career, okay? But this means that something is challenging you and you need to use that challenge to grow. The third kind of relationship is a nurturing cycle, meaning the incoming energy is nurturing to your current sign. It's helpful. Usually, during this time, you're gonna feel more relaxed. You're going to feel like more divinely supported. However, you do run the risk of being lazy, okay? So you need to also be aware of these cycles. So you see, there is no absolutely good or bad cycles. Basically, every kind of energy have its own traits. You have to learn how to flow with it. And the fourth kind of energy is the energy you challenge. And traditionally, this kind of relationship would enhance your financial abundance, gives you more control. So during this time, you would feel more in control. You'd feel more abundant. And this is usually a cycle for you to make more money. The fifth kind of energy is the energy you generate, meaning the incoming year's energy is the energy that you give life to. Usually during this kind of energy patterns, it's auspicious for you to get pregnant, have a child, start a family. This is a good time for you to nurture something else. This is also a very creative energy pattern because everything you give life to, they're your creations, right? Like when I'm making this video, that's the kind of energy I'm talking about. So when you need a lot of creative energy, this is the energy pattern that will help. All right, so now you know your core energy, you know what kind of incoming energy you're dealing with. Now the next step would be understanding how to remedy energies you don't want and enhance the energies that help you, right? How do you do that? I have read so many different Chinese astrology charts, probably hundreds of them, and I have not seen anybody come in with a perfect chart that doesn't need anything, okay? So the ultimate goal for Chinese astrology is to help you balance your energies, to help you achieve a perfect balance of the 5 elements. Because you know what? When we're born into this world, none of us are born with the perfectly balanced chart. And also, every year, every day, every month, when energy comes in, they always create some kind of imbalance. These energies are both helping us and shaking us to find the perfect balance. So in Chinese astrology, it's all about dancing with these elements and try to find the balance. One way to find the balance is to get a private reading. If you want to talk to me one-on-one to look at your overall chart and understand everything beyond your core energy, you can book a reading with me. That way we'll spend some time together looking at everything on your chart. Another way to do this is to meditate on your own using these 5 elements. Now you know how to look up the incoming energies, right? You can look at any day in the future and understand what kind of energy is coming in, right? So with that, actually, on the days you're given a certain element, you can always meditate on it and use that energy to create more balance. See, every element rules a certain part of your body. It rules certain divine qualities. It rules certain colors. It rules certain substances. And you can sit in meditation and call on these things and just allow the energy to come in and fill you up and reach to the perfect balance and perfect harmony. The most powerful way to do this is to flow with the incoming energy. For example, when you have a fire day, you want to balance the fire energy. 2021 is the year of the metal ox. So this year is actually an opportunity from the universe to help you balance the metal energy in your chart. If you get a reading from me, usually I will tell you which element is your primary element for a given time. Usually they're not permanent, okay? So I will tell you in this year, try to add a lot of this energy. But the truth is we really need to balance out all 5 elements. We always need to reach to the perfect optimization of all 5. And if you want to simplify this, I have created a meditation bundle with 5 different meditations, each one focusing on optimizing one element for your life. The meditations are pretty short. They're always infused with Reiki and binaural beats, and I want to enhance the power of them. Each one of the meditation will help you balance a specific kind of energy, and I will also help you, use that energy to heal the part of your body that is ruled by that energy. I will also help you infuse your life with the divine quality associated with those energies. Once you get to the place where you are perfectly balanced, what's going to happen is that you're going to feel that life start flowing again. You're no longer stuck. Your health will improve, and you're going to notice that you're going to have better luck with everything. People around you will change. Everything around you will start to shift. So you're going to know that, your 5 elements are back in balance, back in harmony again. These guided meditations I make are the exact meditations I do every day to help me achieve the perfect balance with the 5 elements, and I recorded them just for you. To help you get started easily and quickly, I want to give you the metal optimization meditation for only $7 because this year is a perfect time to balance your metal energy. Today is the only chance you can get this amazing balancing optimization work for only $7. You're getting the metal optimization meditation only. And in the future, if you want to upgrade to the full bundle, we can actually give you your $7 back. You get it for free if you were to upgrade. But for now, just go to the button below and get this metal optimization work for $7 and start manifesting a fabulous metal ox year for yourself.